All right, what's going on? Welcome to this video. We're going to be diving into the iPad in just a second here. This is 7 core things that I typically implement into a sales team to ensure that they scale to the moon. Now, this is very fresh of mind because I literally just started working with a client very recently who's doing around 400K a month, right? So very good, but I'm going to take them way past $1 million a month. So I want to make sure that they actually have the infrastructure of scalability so that there are no leaks along the way. Okay, so with that being said, if you don't know who I am, I could do the little intro thing, right? I've worked with some pretty big names in the space. I was Iman Gadzi's sales manager and one of his kind of top coaches in the sales coaching community space. Ashton Hall, William Brown, Brad Go. There's tons and tons of different names that I can drop. But ultimately, this video is all about value. And what I can just quickly say here is grab your seatbelt and strap in, because this channel has some crazy things that I have been working on in the background. So there's plenty of stuff to come that is going to absolutely rip your mind apart. And this is just one tiny piece of the puzzle. I hope you enjoy the video. Catch you soon. Okay, so let's crack into the iPad. This is how to transcend. So go to Amazon.com, buy a fucking seatbelt right now and strap in, okay? So this is 7 immediate fixes that I apply when taking over a sales team. So number 1, we're gonna just dive straight in, right? Just like chucking a midget at a dartboard in Wolf of Wall Street, setting process and speed to lead, okay? Now, some of these, I will kind of break down how I am doing that as well, right? Because something like this might not be groundbreaking news, but at the end of the day, it's something that typically isn't done very well, okay? So this is one of the first things that I look at, okay? So there's a lot of things that go into this. First one is the script. Then the second one, is the speed to lead. Then we have smart views. Then we have a tiered system of progression. And then we have something that I like to call spot the dog. So obviously the script, every single offer that I come into, I make a completely custom script where I actually understand, okay, is this B2B, is this B2C, and what is like the caliber of the person that we're talking to in terms of sophistication and accolades and everything, right? Because we have to be talking to these people in a way that is actually going to resonate, right? And most scripts are just a pretty regurgitated, copy and pasted format of something that was already kind of created before, and as a result, you listen through the script when you do like core reviews and things, and it's shit, it's not landing well. So you need to actually build something that is truly custom and that actually resonates at a high level, right? And then alongside this, this is the most over talked about thing, which is actually the most underutilized, right? Speed to lead, okay? Alex Hormozi preaches about this more times than he probably breathes, but the reality of every sales team that I've ever taken over is that the speed to lead is garbage, okay? So I'm very fortunate to work with a systems guy, shout out to Nico, who was formerly like one of Iman's developers. So this dude's amazing. And whenever I need something that's a bit more kind of, on the ball in terms of Slack automations or Aloe automations, or just an understanding in terms of reporting of what our true speed to lead metrics actually are, boom, take over an offer, call him up, get it implemented, and we're good to go. Because most of the time we think that we have good to speed to lead, but the reality is that it's pretty hit and miss. We don't really have like an around the clock kind of approach to it. So speed to lead's like kind of sometimes quick, but most of the time it's not actually as good as you would be thinking, okay? And this also applies to the number of times that we are then reattempting dials and stuff, because maybe that initial dial is quick, but then what about the remaining dials throughout the day and for the next like 3 days, especially the next 72 hours, where we didn't get through the first time? So those additional touch points, okay? Now, smart views, very, very like, again, something that is talked about but not really utilized in a very smart way whatsoever. Okay, so this is one of those things where it's like giving them a priority order smart view that they're going to be attacking, where it's like hottest with highest intent that need to be called immediately. And as soon as that's been blitzed through, you have your different tiered systems towards the smart views. And then what I mean with tiered system is essentially, and this ties in with the progression part, anyone that I would bring in now, because unfortunately the high ticket sales space is cooked, anyone that I would bring in now basically has to prove their fucking stripes, okay? And what do I mean with that? I mean that you have to come in and you start as what I would call an outbound setter. Now, I've tested this on a few offers and it works very, very well. Come in, show that you're a dog, participate in the team meetings, put in the dials, get some form of results on leads that we basically would have never kind of tapped into otherwise, and then once they have that proof of concept, we really take things to the next level. We start giving them maybe a base pay, inbound leads, right, where they're like getting like the freshest leads, right? We'll start getting them like maybe organic bookings, whatever, right? Like we'll reward that hard work, because there's way too much of an instant like I deserve the world even though I have almost zero experience as a setter, compared to, hey, let me fucking prove myself. And when I have proven myself, then I unlock like the next tier and the next level. So this obviously gives them something very specific to chase towards, which is amazing. But simultaneously, it allows us not to waste money. Now, what do I mean with spot the dog? Kind of links into that. There's always going to be, if I hire in, I'll always hire in twos. Sometimes threes, fours, fives, depends on the size of the team and what we're trying to make happen. Spot the dog is just like, who's the person that's just been fucking raising the standard, okay? So the way that I describe it is the 4-minute mile, right? Everyone knows this, but it's really true, right? People will raise to whatever the standard is on that team, right? Whatever the baseline is right now, that's the standard that they'll reach. I'm looking for that one person that's like, I don't even think the standard's impressive. I'm doubling that shit. I'm tripling that shit. Because that's the dog. That's the person I'm going to do more one-on-ones with. I'm going to spend more time like optimizing and doing core reviews for and really pouring time into them. I'm going to spend more time kind of creating like a clear progression into becoming a closer. All of these things, because that is an intangible quality that you cannot force onto someone. They either have it or they don't, right? We can instill a culture that will kind of drive it, but at the end of the day, people either have a fire in their heart or they don't, okay? So this would be the first thing that we look at, right? The setting process and the speed to lead. Now, time to transcend. Follow-up sequences, okay? Now, I want to make a little disclaimer here. The belief of not following up, okay, it is specifically designed for lazy closers who just want to rationalize their lazy behaviors, okay? The stupidest kind of meme in the high-ticket sales space is like, oh, like, don't do follow-up. Right? It's like, okay, if you're on a very unsophisticated audience kind of B2C offer, you should be absolutely optimizing to not follow up as much as possible and truly getting to the truth on the call and objection handling and helping them overcome their fear and all of these different things. But even with those, you still want to be following up, because you won't close all of the deals, and you will 100% close some deals in follow-up if you fucking have a good process to it, which is what we'll break down here, right? If you're in more of a B2B type of vehicle, this would be like the thing that would literally cut your commissions in half. It would be so fucking stupid to embody this, okay? So what I will do, I will come in, I'll audit the current follow-up messages, okay? So one example that I'll give you is on a tax offer that I'm running. Typically, these are very generic, boring, no personality, and essentially we just get lumped in with the rest of the shit, okay? So I have in front of me here the example that I basically put in, right? So this is when we've tried to call them, like the setters tried to call them, they haven't got through, right? Done a double dial, all of that good shit, and then we want to leave a message so that they know who we are, and then we can basically get around to actually getting in contact with them. So before it was like, by the way, I'm not a robot. Let me know, like, you know, when you're free to talk about like your, you know, your interest in getting help with your taxes. Like, it was kind of painful to my soul. Whereas now it is, I just saw in your form about the X amount that you owed in taxes. I thought I'd reach out ASAP before the IRS sends you a thank you card, right? A little bit of humor, very relevant to them, because we're going to pull whatever number they gave in their application. So it's custom, feels a little more human, and it's just a bit of a pattern interrupt, right? And a pattern interrupt is something that will grab their attention, but it will also show that you're human. So you win on all sides. And I always look towards little things that I can do with this, where it's like, okay, this is going to resonate with the ICP, right? High wealth individuals. It's going to be a pattern interrupt. It's going to show that we're human. It's going to show that we have a way better kind of touch point system towards our communication, okay? Now, I want to preface here, this is exciting, right? I, very recently, around a week ago, designed the single most insane follow-up method that you will ever see in the high-ticket sales space. And I am not exaggerating when I say that, right? Like, I'm not that kind of guy that's like blowing my own dick at this level, right? It's like, I'm telling you, this follow-up method is unbelievable, okay? This is so golden that it deserves its own video, okay? I'm telling you, this will be a full masterclass and it will absolutely blow your mind. So if you're at this stage of the video and you want to see that, comment, show me the money. If I see like a good handful of those comments, then I'll fucking get to work on that one, because, you know, I've got a different kind of order of priority of videos that I'm looking to make, but maybe we slot that one in a lot earlier if I see the demand for it. So it is genuinely, though, the response rate is one of the highest, right? I've tested a lot of different response rates. The response rate is repulsively high, like so high. And your only goal with follow-up is to hook them, You're just looking to get attention. You're looking to grab their attention, right? Like get a reply. That's it. Once you got a reply, you're in the pocket and you take back over, right? So this is one of the best ghosting reactivation things that you will ever lay your eyes on, like ever. Okay, so that's really the premise on it. There is making sure that there's really strong follow-up sequences. Okay, so ways that we can get them back in. So I have, again, there's so much juice that I can put into this video, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to subsection some of these because they're so in depth, right? So I have one of the easiest way for you to demolish through your follow-up lists on Earth. Then I have this new follow-up method which just evokes insane response rates, and essentially you're just gonna take over. You're gonna print so much extra money every single month. Now, next one, this could be you with a bath of money, reactivation blast. Right? Most business owners have a graveyard of leads that are untouched, that are just waiting for an exciting, soul-ripping offer. So these leads have already raised their hand at some point. Okay, so the tools: email reactivation, WhatsApp reactivation, SendBlue reactivation. Okay, so this is really a low-hanging fruit. It is honestly like free money, basically, right? Most teams tend to ignore it, or I see this all the fucking time. They just pretend like they're on top of the leads. Oh, like, yeah, no, we're still on top of those leads, or like, yeah, no, they're getting handled, or yeah, they get some emails. It's like, it's really undirected compared to we have a soul-ripping re-offer, right? Like a brand new offer specifically for these people that are maybe past XYZ time frame. We haven't had any communication since. Let's get them back in the pocket. Let's get them excited. Let's get their hand re-raised so we can get them on a call with a brand new kind of like tailored reactivation pitch and an offer. Okay, now in terms of these two tools here, I will also do separate videos on these. On SendBlue specifically, absolute cheat code. Okay, like pretty much as possible I try to get SendBlue on any of the teams that I would take over, because it is iMessages, so naturally it's way more trust building, it has way higher conversion rates, but then you can play around with voice messages, video messages, all of these different things, which is so good, right? And you've got these different like custom workflows that you can get in place. Like there's so many things that you can play around with. It is amazing, right? So whether it comes to increasing your show rate, that's like a very obvious mechanism we can use for it, but also when it comes to like a reactivation campaign, boom, custom video from the offer owner. Hey, right? If you're receiving this message, that means, right? And we kind of do this whole repitch through a video from the brand authority, and it prints. It works so fucking well. Same thing with the WhatsApp, right? There's a few tools that we can use where you can link it to your Meta Business Manager and you can blast out 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 WhatsApp messages. They can be videos, all kinds of stuff as well. So we will go deep into this on a different video, because honestly, my goal with this channel moving forward, just FYI, is to kind of leave no stone unturned, like truly. And there's some really exciting things that I've been working on in the background. So that's why I said go to Amazon, strap in the seatbelt, because there's a lot of shit to come. Next up, pitch rebuild, right? Little tree of money growing. This is my signature shit. All right, the way that I structure my pitches always fucking lands, right? So I rebuild the entire pitch from scratch, right? I essentially have the business owner fill out a massive intake form. That's like the only one thing that a business owner would ever have to do. It's like, I'm going to do every single thing that you will ever need. The hiring, the firing, the training, right? Building out all of the culture, right? Building up the scripts, doing the systems, doing the processes, doing like fucking everything that you need. I just need you to fill in this intake form. So one, I have like infinite clarity on your offer, what's unique about it, the ICP, who it resonates with, why you created it, right? What your kind of signature, all stuff, right? And then that's like one and done. That's the only thing you'd ever have to do as a business owner, right? And then typically what that means is that I have way more clarity within a week than what some closers who have been there maybe like a year have, which is crazy, right? So most teams are running on a pitch that was thrown together like forever ago. Nobody has actually just taken the time to sit down and optimize it. And I want you for a second just to picture how many like hundreds or thousands of sales calls have happened with essentially like a loose, crappy pitch. Like it's genuinely scary, right? If every day, let's say you have 4 closers and all of them are taking 8 calls a day, or you got 8 times 4 per day, do that across 7 days, do that across a month, do that across a year. It's so much risk and something that is so easy, because it's like once it's done and you know it's working, right? There's proof of concept. It's like that is just there. It's just regimented now, which is exactly what I kind of am writing down here. Okay, it's like, obviously we can do trainings and we can do core reviews and we can do all these different things, and they are great, but the issue with them is that like maybe a new team member joins, right? And they haven't had that same degree of training, so they've got to be built up to that level as well. Maybe it's going to be a case where you go through something and it really clicks with one rep, and with another rep, it just doesn't click. That's coaching all over, right? That's the nature of the beast. Whereas this is like, it's regimented, it's good to go, and you are set for success. I will die on this hill of a pitch needs to be very unique, very structured, and actually tangible and in-depth. Right? This is no longer 2020 in terms of high ticket sales. There's a lot of fucking competition out there for basically every single offer. If you just do the like 2-minute TikTok pitch, you are leaving a shit ton of money on the table, right? Because if they don't actually have clarity on what the fuck they're getting, they are not going to buy. Even if your discovery was great, truly. I will die on that hill. I've tested this like crazy, right? And the pitches that I build are somewhat long, I'll be honest. And then if needed, I'll pair them up with a pitch deck or maybe like a live calculator or something that's kind of tangible as well. And every time I have seen that outperform just like a very short, kind of condensed, punchy pitch of what they're getting, right? Unless it is such a massive brand that they already know exactly what they're getting anyway, because there's basically like a, whole breakdown of like what's already included in the program, and they're getting indoctrinated for like fucking months and months and months before they jump on a call. That's a different game, right? But I'm talking like anything from cold audience all the way up to like moderately warm audience. That's really the skill of closing anyway, right? So it's a pitch optimized for that, but even the ones who are hot are still going to close through this as well, right? So it'd be stupid to do a very short pitch, okay? Now, these are a couple of little examples of, some pitch decks that I've created, right? When I think that a pitch deck is relevant for the ICP. And this is how I build out my teams, right? I always refer to them as the fucking Power Rangers. So bringing in new blood, right? Now all of those things have been done, we can bring in new blood. So once the systems and processes have been put in place to actually scale the offer, it is vital that you move fast, right? With removing people that clearly are not going to be able to handle the rapid rate of scaling, right? I have a saying which is like, grab onto the bullet train or get left behind, right? Because at once, like, the infrastructural kind of things have been put in place, it's like, boom, time to blast off, right? There's no slowing down now. So you got to fucking grab on, okay? Now, if you're willing to go to war for me, then I will go to war for you, right? So that's exactly what I'm looking for in terms of closers, right? The exact type of closer that is willing to put some dicks in the dirt, which is another saying I have on my teams, right? Drive strong hours, maintain positive energy without rationalizing or playing the blame game or playing the my leads weren't good today type of bullshit, right? And someone who is a dog, right? Because I can tell you now, the state of high ticket sales is fucked, okay? So we're going to go on a very slight little point of this, because I think this is very valuable for any sales reps that are watching this. If you are reading a ChatGPT script on your Loom, I will know and I will DQ you, right? So if you kind of say, I pride myself on execution, not hype, done. You're literally DQ'd within seconds, right? You cannot even think for yourself. You do not even have a brain, right? And it's kind of like, it almost sounds like I'm joking a bit, but it's really painfully obvious, right? And it kind of blows my mind that they don't realize how painfully obvious it is. The next one that I see a lot of is these people are like, how I'll add, $100,000 to your coaching or consulting business. And then funnily enough, every single one that has that application has the same breakdown, the same close rate within like kind of a very small margin, the same show rate, and the same tracker of their like commission. So I don't know, but I think that's like some fake shit where it's just like, oh guys, like use this template for your Loom. So if you're doing that right now, I'd be really cautious, because I don't buy into that whatsoever. And then the third thing, is just actually having a little bit of character within it, right? The best applications I've had have just been very warm, very grounded, and just told the truth, and not tried to sugarcoat their lack of sales experience in a way that is sales experience, right? I never said that I had sales experience when I was a restaurant manager. I wasn't like, I've been working in hospitality where I've been serving thousands of customers and I've been learning how to sell. It's bullshit. You were a restaurant worker, right? So I think the truth is kind of like the cheat code in this day and age, okay? So those are the things that I'm really looking for, okay? Now, on to the next. Call review channel, okay? Here's a couple of examples here. So we got, obviously, all of the offers that I run pretty much are with call. So you can kind of see here. We've done a call review for Bruno. Post takeaways within the next 48 hours, right? 25-minute breakdown here, 27-minute breakdown here. You can see here, Mandatory watch for all, right? Extremely strong core review, high energy, lots of reframes and perspectives that will be massive unlocks moving forward, right? So we essentially had an issue where a webinar just didn't resonate as much as we would have liked to with the audience, and everyone was playing the blame game. Oh, I can't overcome it, like that webinar wasn't good. But this is the moment where you learn how to become a good fucking closer. So I've done such a good core review for this, and as you can see, everyone on the team, right, you can see 7 different replies from all the different team members, and what that looks like, I don't have a screenshot of it, is they post massive notes and takeaways, right? Like massive notes and takeaways. Okay, so most teams do call reviews. Sorry, I've done this with a voice prompt, which is why it says core, right? They're surface level, they're inconsistent, nobody actually really learns anything because it's done on a team meeting and everyone's kind of like piping up and talking a bunch of bullshit, right? Our process is we post it in Slack, recorded video, somewhere like 30 minutes up to like an hour. Sometimes we do like an insane deep dive, right? And the premise of that is you can go back and watch it infinite times. You can sit down with headphones, you can make notes, right? And we found that these just work so well, and then within 48 hours you are basically posting all of your notes and takeaways in a dedicated channel, and this is like super in depth, right? A big ass breakdown of everything that they learned from it, and we've just found this works so well. Next up, better every day. Now you're probably not going to be able to see this too well, but essentially this is a post here where they shared the workout that they done, which is them getting better, and then they basically shared what we call already abundant. So this was something that I implemented, which is great, right? So better every day is a channel where every single day a team member will post something which shows how they've been getting better that day, right? But then we ground it with, okay, you're striving for greatness, you're getting better, but you're also grateful, which is the already abundant section, right? So essentially, this is like something in their life that they're grateful for, okay? So essentially they could share a win, something they learned, a skill that they were practicing. It can honestly be anything as long as they're growing. But then the already abundant section is like, boom, and I woke up today and I'm grateful for XYZ, right? So this one here was that he'd spent time with friends, had like some tomahawk steaks, right? Just like the being grateful for the existence, right? And this really keeps team in a positive headspace, keeps everyone on the team way more connected, more grounded, having more gratitude as well. And if a team, I've seen this loads, feels like they're all lone warriors that are just fighting their own battles in the trenches, that will never be a team that performs at the highest level, okay? Now, quick bonus one here. This is my Monday morning manifestations. You can see a bunch of replies here, a bunch of emojis and stuff. This is a way where I prime everyone into the week, right? This is another signature method that I have, and this works super well as well, okay? Now, there's a million things that I can go into. These are just like, this is an example of 7 things that I will typically deploy into a team. Every single client I work with, it's a very tailored solution though, because I'm going to look at their numbers, I'm going to look at their team, I'm going to look at basically everything that's in place, their processes, their systems, right? And I'm going to see what is the big lever that I can pull right now, right? Because it's very easy to be like, okay, cool, like let's hire some closers, let's do this, right? Like some generic shit. But if I can see, okay, boom, their show rate is terrible. What am I going to deploy? The easiest thing to get in place. I'm going to get SendBlue straight away. I'm going to up their show rate from 40% up to 70%. I'm going to build out custom workflows for it. I'm going to help the offer owner script some videos which are going to massively improve the show rate, and that's going to be the fastest thing that I'll act on, right? If I'm noticing that the pitch is just all over the fucking place, that'll be one of the first things that I work on. Now, all of these things will get worked on, but I kind of change the priority of how they get worked on, right? Now, there's also a bunch of custom things when it maybe comes to like 3-day challenges or webinars or events or whatever, where it's like, okay, a lot of it's dialed in. Now we just need some insane call volume, right? The team's already good. We're going to build a new pitch. We're going to improve the culture so everything kind of rises in terms of standard, but there's already some great foundations. Now it's time to just inject fucking money. So everything's very tailored and very custom. Now, as we get deeper into this channel, I'm going to break down all the strategies. I'm going to break down how I do SendBlue stuff. I'm going to break down how I do the WhatsApp, the groups and the blasts and all of these different things. I'm literally going to break down like my hiring process. I'm going to break down, this one is massive. I'm going to break down my refund prevention process that we implemented. This one literally, it took an offer from 15% refund rate to less than 1%, right? One other thing that we're going to put in place as well, which I can break down, is how we took an offer that had a very low upfront cash collected percentage, right? It was around 18%. So what does that mean? For every 100K revenue, the amount that they actually collected was 18K. Right, and there was all these beliefs of like, well, we have a very young audience, everyone's broke, right, etc., etc. And we took that from 18% to about 70 to 80%, dependent on the month, right? I think the very next month when we implemented all of the different tools that we utilized, it went to 77%. From 18% to 77%. That's how you truly make money, right? Because even if their revenue stayed the same, 100K and 100K, if one of them was actually 18% of that, so 18K, and the other one was then 77K, this one is going to have loads of churn, people that don't end up making all of their payments. That's not a true number that's coming into the bank. Whereas this now is very close to an actual true number. So there is a million different things. And I'm very excited to just be in the pocket and making this content and everything, because we're going to go so in depth. All right, cool. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is just one of many. We're going to really go very in depth. This is a good like high level overview one. I think what is going to make a ton of sense moving forward is kind of go very granular on like a single subject. Okay, so like how I build the pitches, how I improve the show rate, right? How I prevent refunds. Like that's really ultimately the goal. I want to make sure that there are kind of 3 people that we're helping, right? Sales reps that we're helping, okay? But the main people I want to help is closers that are already crushing it, that want to get to that sales management level, right? And kind of scale offers. And then business owners that just know, hey, I need someone that knows what the fuck they're doing and I want to take my offer to the next level, right? So that's really my goal. And I'm going to basically leave no stone unturned on all of that. So if you liked what you saw, do the whole subscribing shit, whatever you want to do. Catch you soon. Peace and love.